know you're a fan of the Weber grill. Tell me why you like to cook on the Weber.
I like the Weber because it's a good versatile grill. You know, you can cook multiple ways. Direct heat, where you've got the flame source right there and you grill on top of it. For today with the ribs, I'm going to do indirect heat, and that way you put the heat sources on the side.
Okay.
You know, pile your charcoal up on either side, and then you're going to cook the ribs right in the middle.
Okay.
With this dome on this Weber, it kind of does a convection.
Circulates the heat?
Sure.
Okay. Now I know you also like to use a water pan. Tell us about why you do that.
Well, the water pan goes right in the middle, between the two sides of charcoal, and that also steams up, provides some more moisture, keeps the moisture in the chamber, and it also lets the drippings from the ribs fall in there so it doesn't goo up your grill.
Okay, and it also keeps it from flaring up, creating a lot of fire as well.
Sure.
Okay.
The other thing with this particular grill that I like, it's got these hinged grates, so I'll have my fire source on either side, pan will be in the middle, and if I need to add wood chunks for smoke, or add some more charcoal, it's easily done, because, and I don't have to take the whole grate off and everything.
Okay. Well, what kind of wood are we going to use to smoke with today?
I like using hickory.
Hickory?
Yeah. So what I've done is I've taken a few chunks of hickory, I've been soaking it in water for about an hour. Usually when I put it in the water, you put hot water in there so it gets in the pores of that wood, soaks in there real deep.
Okay.
And that's the hickory not only is going to provide the smoke flavor, but it also will help keep the temperature down.
Okay.
And the big thing about this is trying to keep the temperature low for
and
cooking. And another thing that's really important is once you put these ribs on, you want to keep the lid on.
Keep the lid on?
These kettle grills, when you take the lid off, the fire gets going in there and it'll actually heat up.
Okay.
If you leave it off for a while.
Right.
The other thing, once you take it off, you lose all your heat.
Okay.
So it's got to reset itself.
Okay.
So leave the lid on. It's a key element of cooking this way, real slow.
Okay.
The other thing, this has a couple of vents. There's a bottom vent.
Okay.
That I keep, the way I turn it, about a quarter of the way open.
Quarter of the way open.
That helps slow down the heat in here. And then there's a top vent here. I leave that about 3/4 of the way open.
Okay.
That way I can control a little more smoke in here.
Quarter of the way open on the bottom, 3/4 of the way open on top?
That's right.
Okay. And then what kind of charcoal you use? I know that you're a charcoal snob and you're very particular about what kind of charcoal you use.
I am a charcoal snob. I have never used Kingsford. I've never used any kind of briquette. I use natural lump charcoal.
Okay.
At one point I was getting some stuff from Bolivia, these big chunks of charcoal. I just don't, I don't like the briquettes and the lighter fluid. It gives you like petroleum, you know, just that taste.
You don't want your ribs tasting like gasoline.
I like to incorporate the flavor myself through smoking. I don't want my fuel source to give the flavor.
Right.
So I use a natural lump charcoal.
Okay.
This is actually from trees. These are chunks of trees cut up. They're fired in a kiln and dried out. They're kind of inconsistent, so you've got all kinds of different pieces and shapes. But what I do is I just fill up a chimney. It's a charcoal chimney. Get it in any kind of home improvement store. 2 sheets of newspaper in the bottom. Again, this keeps me from having to put lighter fluid in there. I get to control the flavor of the ribs, not my fuel source. And I'm just going to light the bottom of this. We'll get it going and come back and check on it.
Then you just set it in the grill and let it go.
I do. That's all it is. I'll come back and dump that after it's been going.
Well, our coals are ready, so Paul's going to show us how to stack the coals to turn the Weber grill into a smoker.
All right. What we're going to do is get them on both sides of the grill, and we're going to put a pan in the middle. So I'm just going to dump about, best I can tell, about half here and half over here. I'll move them around here. I got a special tongs I use. There we go. And what I usually do is get these tongs set up, put them over here, slide some over here. There we go. The trick is you put the pan in, and then you add the water to the pan. All right, Dave, water. There we go, put the water. What I got here is a couple chunks of hickory, and I add this. It's going to be our smoke source and give the flavor to the ribs. And I'm just going to throw some chunks on either side. This has been soaking in water for about an hour. The other good thing about doing this is it helps keep the temperature down, keep the fire down cool.
Okay.
All right.
Now we're just going to cover this and give it a few minutes for the temperature to stabilize. When you first dump the coals in, it's really hot. We want that temperature to kind of lower back down to the cooking temp, and then we'll go ahead and put the ribs on.
All right. Look at that smoke. Okay, we're gonna put these racks of ribs on here. We're gonna put bone side down.
Bone side down.
Look at that.
Right in the center over that water pan.
Look at
There you go.
Perfectly.
That's pretty.
All right.
Now we're just going to cover them up and let them roll for about an hour.
Yep, we're gonna put that lid on there and leave it on.
Okay, let's cover them up.
All right.
One of the key things to remember about these ribs is you want to leave that lid on because it's going to smoke. Keep the smoke in there, nice and slow cooking. Take it, get out of there. Leave the lid on. As soon as you take that lid off, you lose all your smoke and all your heat. Slow and low, that's where we're going to go. All right, Dave, stay out of there.